What's going on, everybody? It's Anthony here, and I'm very, very excited. The person I'm about to announce does not need any type of introduction, but we have the opportunity to come here to his office in Fresno, California, and to meet him personally so that we can begin to work with him and really get him exposed for the things that he has coming for the future. He's all about the people. He's all about uplifting each individual who does come in his presence. So please, let's go take a look. So James, he is known for his ex-professional basketball era, and also he's even more well known for his business success, and everything he touches basically turning into gold, everything he touches creating a profit. And not only that, he profits off helping people. So James is definitely a person that you want to connect with and really get to know. It might benefit your life. All right, everybody, so here we are, James McFadden's office. Let's go ahead and take a look.
Hey, how's it going? Michael.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing, sir? Anthony.
Hey, it's a pleasure, James.
Hey, welcome.
Very
Come on
excited
in.
to meet
Come
you.
check out the office. You grab that door there. I was actually doing you grab some here out the freezer, so you guys can check me out as I'm getting ready to munch a little bit. How's it going? This is one of the guys here in the office. Say hello.
How's it going?
So come on back, guys. This is waiting area. All that good stuff. Freezer should be a little bit more organized. I think they have some type of speed meeting at the end here, so come on over. We'll take you guys back to the conference room. So definitely appreciate you guys coming in today.
Yeah, thank you for having us. This is a beautiful office.
Oh, thank you very much. I know you guys have some questions and some things. We're going to be doing some interviewing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for taking the time to meet with us.
Absolutely.
We're excited.
So come on back. We have some various organizations. Typically, there's not a lot of people here, so I love the piece of pie. Come on back in, you guys. I'll turn my light on. You got a copy right here in the middle of snacking, so come on in and let's talk. And you see the basketball over
Yeah,
there.
it's the basketball here. You're all ready to go.
Good stuff, good stuff. So, what you guys over there?
Awesome. We're doing good today. How are you doing?
I'm doing real good.
That's awesome. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule.
By all means.
I was telling everyone as we were coming up that, you have this amazing story that, the best person to share this amazing story would be yourself. So if you do us the honor to sharing that with us and just giving everyone in the world a little bit of inside look about who James McFadden is and what your vision is for the world. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in with us today. We have a very special guest. His name is James McFadden. He's an ex-professional basketball player, also a father of 6, entrepreneur of traditional business and network marketing with 20 plus years experience, and he's just getting started, everybody. He's in the process of writing a book that is going to really and truly benefit everyone who reads it. So James, go to introduce yourself to the world.
Well, thank you very much, Anthony. I think Anthony did a great job there, but first and foremost, I'm very excited to be here on the show and definitely tell you guys a little bit about myself. I guess I can start with my 6 beautiful children. They're my why, they're what motivates me. Again, like Anthony said, I've been in business for 20 years, both in traditional and in the network marketing industry. And just before that, like you covered as well, basketball and all those kind of things. But I think first and foremost, if I was going to just kind of give you a little bit of background about myself, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Was raised out there for a while, then moved to Florida, ended up in California, and now I call this home. Was very, very fortunate to find basketball, especially coming from the streets like I did. It was something that kept me out of trouble. had me focus on definitely achieving great things in basketball. I was able to do that. Went to college my 1 year, like so many guys who are young and silly. I took off after the money, went to go play some ball overseas, and came back. And when it was time to search for a job, Anthony, I realized that I didn't want to build someone else's dreams. I didn't want to go out there and be told when I needed to get off, when I needed to come to work, and all those kind of things. So decided to become an entrepreneur, and yeah.
Yeah, that's great, James. A question that I want to ask is,
Yes,
did you
sir.
have a mentor or someone who motivated you when you were younger to kind of show you that you had a lot more to give to the world?
I don't think I had a per se mentor in regards to business. I had obviously a lot of mentors in sports that, when you're a young guy, you want to be like this guy, you want to be like that guy, right? Whether it's a Magic or whoever back in the day. I think really the person that motivated me the most, the person who drove me, I would have to say is my mother. Just really coming from a single mom and a very poverty-stricken background and situation, I just realized that I didn't want to live that life. I didn't want to, when I did have children down the line, I didn't want them to know what that life was. And so that just really is what drove me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Another question that I have is related to basketball. What's something that you've taken from basketball that you still apply in your everyday life today?
I would definitely have to say teamwork. They always say teamwork makes the dream work. And it's, I think in that team concept, I realized what it is to make sure you don't try to do everything yourself, be really good at what it is that you do, and be able to leverage yourself through other people that allow you to be successful as a whole. So my whole thing, Anthony, was, there's only so many hours in a day I can work, but by leveraging myself through other people and by having the right partners in place, that I could definitely achieve greater things than I could on my own.
That's phenomenal. So before we get into your 20 plus years of traditional business and network marketing experience, if you can give your 23-year-old self advice, what would you tell yourself?
Oh my gosh, 23-year-old self. It would definitely be leave the girls alone, right? Have my coaches and a lot of people coming up tell me not to do that, and so that's typically what's wrong when you're at that age, and you really don't see a lot of value of money, especially when you're coming from a background where you don't have a lot. And like most young silly guys, I came into money, messed up a bunch of money, and so I can't accredit anything in business to basketball money, because I kind of bled that well dry, if you will, and I had to come up with ways of being an entrepreneur or go out and get a job. So that was kind of the decision I made at a young age.
Right, and James, that's kind of where I find you unique from a lot of other athletes, is you really, just like a lot of people out there, had to start with nothing.
Right.
And you built your businesses on just pure you, which is phenomenal. So when did you realize that you had the capability of making money for yourself?
I think, it came again in my 20s. I was sitting around trying to figure out what it is that I can do. And it's kind of funny, I don't know if a lot of people know my story. A lot of people assume it's from basketball. They assume that I had this, a bank full of money and I just went out there and started doing things. But in all actuality, what happened is I was working for a little while. I took a break from basketball, trying to take care of some family issues, and I was going to go back the next year. And I wound up having a guy that I knew. I've always been an entrepreneur in the spirit of, I would buy and sell things. I would buy a car, sell a car, and those type of things. But I had a guy who had asked me to coach his son while I was back. And I saw an opportunity with that guy because he actually owned a tow yard, believe it or not. And I started buying cars from him and flipping them. I realized that I could clean them up pretty good and increase the value. So that led into a detail shop, my very first detail shop, which wasn't very much money. And once I was able to save some money, that led into my first of 2 car lots, and it just kind of went from there.
That's amazing. And I mean, that's a lot of accomplishments than a lot of people do in an entire lifetime. So I definitely think what you have to say carries a lot of value within it. And one of the biggest questions I think I can ask is, what does happiness mean to you? You've owned all these businesses. You've sat down with me personally, and you've told me about several business ventures that you started, and not only started, but succeeded in. And I guess what does happiness mean to you? Since you've been there, you've seen that, you've traveled the world. So I feel like you have a pretty good answer to this question.
Well, that's a question that it took me some time to figure out the answer to. A lot of times when you're young and you come from nothing, you think happiness is money, and you think happiness is success. And though that brings a certain amount of happiness, it's not the only thing that leads to happiness. And I know so many people who are very successful millionaires, very have achieved a lot in their lives, and they're not happy. I was one of those people that, like you said, it started with a small detail shop, a couple of car lots, a chain of cell phone stores, a semi-pro basketball team. We did so many things, Anthony, including trademarking the name iWatch, and just so many major things in my business life, and that went on for 20 plus years. And what happened is some years ago, and I've also again been in the networking industry, so I was familiar with that industry as well. But some years ago, about 3 years ago, I was faced with a life-altering predicament as far as my health. I had just lost my mom at 53 to depression, my dad at 62 to cancer. And that was a shock, but it was really a shock when I was diagnosed with stroke level cholesterol, and I was told I was a candidate for heart disease. And it was at that moment when the doctor told me that I got very emotional. And I remember the feeling I had when I lost my mom and dad, and I thought to myself, do I want my children to have that feeling as well? So happiness, and I say all that to say this, to me, is my family. Because a lot of times when something like that happens, it makes you put everything into perspective. And all the things that you thought were important, like making all the money, which I had done, and the house and the cars, which I had, meant nothing if I wasn't going to be here, and if I was going to lose that time with my children. And so happiness to me is valuing my time with my family and making sure that not only do I do what I need to do to be successful in my health now, but also pay it forward and help others based off of what I've learned.
Absolutely. I don't think you could have answered that any better, and I feel like that situation definitely was a blessing in disguise, because I myself have been hanging out with you quite often these past couple of weeks, and I don't see you slowing down just the slightest. If anything, I see you putting full speed ahead. Absolutely. And I'm very excited. So the next question is, what's in the future for James McFadden? What's in store for you? What's next?
Well, one of the things that I love about what I do now, and even though I'm an entrepreneur and I have some different things going on as far as in business, one of the businesses that I'm in, obviously, is a network marketing industry. And one of the things I love about network marketing is it's really one of the greatest forms of capitalism in the world, where anybody can be anything they want to be. And so I've utilized not only that industry, but now what I'm into, which is bringing health and wellness to people based off of my experience and really the situations I've dealt with family and my own personal health. Now I feel like I really have a purpose. And so to answer that question is really to go out there and make a difference in people's lives. And I've been now doing this for 20 years, and it's all really led up to this point, this moment, where I feel like I'm really making a difference. Again, I feel like I have purpose, and it's really what's compelled me and motivated me to start this book that you know about as well. So
that's great.
Yes.
So I know you are also a motivational speaker.
Absolutely.
You speak naturally, so it's in your blood. We'll be in the car, and I feel like I'm listening to an audiobook, and just gaining so much knowledge and so much value just by being in your presence alone, even behind the scenes of the camera that people don't see.
Right.
So what I want to talk to you about is a quote that you mentioned, and it's people don't care about how much you know, people care about how much you care.
Absolutely.
And so can you tell us, why do you care about other people?
Well, I think why do I care about other people? There's a couple ways of going at that, and the first thing is that's a true statement. People don't care how much you know; they want to know that you care, and I think that's where a lot of people mess it up in sales, whether it's traditional sales, whether it's in network marketing, whatever the case may be. Is so many times we go out and we try to build our business with a hidden agenda. It's the pressures of the quota, it's the pressures of the numbers, it's the pressures of the ranking, the biggest pressure, the pressure of the check, right? We need the check for those of us who are in sales, but I think if you're looking for a quick sale, hey, you can go out there and sell whatever. But if you're looking for long-term residual income, whether you're in real estate, whether you're looking for referrals from that deal, or you're looking for let's say residual in that networking company, whatever the case may be, you really need to be able to connect to that person and relate to that person's needs. What I mean by that is, I put this on social media a while back on my Facebook. You can't be sincere and phony at the same time. Meaning that when you're dealing with people, Anthony, it's very important to connect to that person, find out what it is they need. So many times in business, we have an agenda, so we're trying to sell the package we want to sell or the product we want to sell, and we don't take the time to find out what it is that person needs, because once you can identify that need, that pain, that issue, that why, if you will, then it's so much easier to deliver the solution, if that makes sense. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So I've been fortunate enough to get just a little bit of a sneak peek of your book that you're coming out with.
Absolutely.
And you being a father of 6, ex-pro athlete, entrepreneur of traditional business and network marketing, and the list goes on.
Right.
This book literally is going to uplift so many different types of people who read it. Do you mind giving us just a brief summary about your book that will be releasing shortly?
Well, it's the title may change, but it's basically teaching people how to shift through the process in dealing with people, right? And it's something I've learned in 20 years in traditional sales, whether it's my car lots, my cell phone stores, whatever the case may be, and many other businesses in sales. And then also in the network marketing industry, where I've been on top of 5 companies. I've had a lot of success in this industry, and it's things that you just kind of learn as you go along the way. And one of the things, kind of what I just said just a while ago, is teaching people how to genuinely connect, how to find out what that problem is, and to offer the person the right solution. Because when you can do that, not only do you help that person, but by default you help yourself. And so the book, without giving too much away, is based off that premise. There's about 5 steps that I talk about and how to successfully and sincerely help people.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, James, I'm very, very excited for you to complete that book. I know you've been working extremely hard at it, putting your heart, soul into it.
Absolutely.
And is there a quote that you want to, or even just do you want to give any advice to the people watching today so that they can have a better day?
Well, I think there's a couple things. One is a lot of times people think there's a hidden secret, especially in this business that I'm in now. What is that thing? What is that? I always tell people there is no thing. There is no secret ingredient to being successful in sales. I think the first thing is learning how to be you. And I always tell people, when you learn how to love yourself, other people can appreciate and love you as well. That's the first thing. Second thing is just being you. Don't try to be someone else. A lot of times people try to mimic or imitate other people. I always tell people, I may stutter, I may talk a little ebonks, but I've been really good at cashing checks for 20 years because I've always been sincere to who I am. And so I think that's what I would say in regards to that. And then also, believe that you can. I always tell people it starts with a mindset. When you upgrade this, then you can upgrade your lifestyle. And so, I always say if you believe it, you can achieve it. Another great quote that I like, I know you asked for one, I'm going to give you a few of them. Do the things today that other people won't do in order to have those things tomorrow that other people won't have. Besides that, the last thing that I'll say before you go into your next question is people always ask me, what do I do? And especially in the networking industry. And I always tell people this, I'm in the hugging, kissing, and kissing, hugging business. I'm in the people helping people business. And I love it. Like I said, it gives me a purpose. I feel like I'm making a difference. And when you can build your business, one of the things I always quote on my social media, love what you do and do what you love. And so that's one of the things that I really appreciate about this industry, that it truly allows me to help people, and I can do it at my pace. It's not a race. My success is determined based off of how many people I help, and one doesn't work without the other.
Right. And I know in your book it talks about relating to people, and without giving too much away, I want you to speak to the people who have to beat the odds that are against them. You growing up in Brooklyn, not growing up with money, how did you beat the odds? And can you tell the people who are doing that right now and give them a little bit of hope that they can do the same thing like you?
Well, that's I think is a 2-part question. First, relating to people. I think people can relate to you when they see that you're real. When they don't see that you're a robot, when they don't feel like you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, which I was not. I showed you guys my wallet. In my wallet, I carry a food stamp. It just kind of reminds me of where I came from. I'm a very humble individual. I come from very hard times, and so I portray that in all that I do. I portray that as I connect to people. People can feel like, that they can identify where I'm coming from, that I know where they're coming from, whatever the case might be. And so relating to a person is really getting to know and care sincerely what it is that person's looking for. So I don't want to go out there, let's say, Anthony, and make you the best version of me I need you to be. I need to go out there and make you the best version of you want to be. And so that's the first part of that question. Relating, and again, I believe I might have answered the other part of the question, which is just always be yourself, talk from the heart. I've never been more emotional in my life than I have over the last 3 years. Because this is truly something I can connect with, helping people, making a difference. With all the crises that we have going on right now with health and wellness and financial pains and things like that, I couldn't have asked for a better vehicle than what I'm doing right now to help people. Yeah,
it's amazing. And myself and my partner Michael, we're very fortunate to partner with you and see you behind the camera, and we do see that. You with your family, you are a family man, and you are constantly also on the phone making deals. You're an opportunist. So, we see that you are definitely a genuine person.
Absolutely.
With a good heart, and we're excited for the world to get to know you. Do you want to go ahead and let the world know what to expect from James McFadden moving forward with all the social media, PR team that you have, and, you're really going to put your name out there.
Right.
You want to go ahead and let them know what to expect next from you?
Absolutely. And, I think that's what compelled me to write this book, Anthony, is that I don't want to build a thing. I don't want to be known as just one specific thing. I want to be remembered as someone who made a difference as a whole. And if that means that I can help a person who's in real estate, a person who's a school teacher, a person who's in this business, or whatever the case may be, whether it's networking, whether it's traditional sales, whether it's door-to-door, whatever the case may be, or a shoe salesman just trying to figure out how to relate, or a car salesman. Always give the analogy, if you walk to a car lot and the salesperson tries to sell you a convertible and starts talking about all the benefits of the convertible and all the things that will attract people to that convertible, but never take the time that you actually need a minivan because you have a big family. That's what I want to teach people, is how to connect properly, how to truly help people and be sincere in that. And again, Anthony, just to make a difference.
Yeah. That's phenomenal. I'm very excited. Well, James, it's a pleasure, and I thank you for taking the time and speaking with us and the world, and to be continued. Thank you, James.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.